It's been. Dina's game will start momentarily. We don't have the video yet, but I figure I'd start anyway. Because, why not? Somebody has to do it. Watch now. Hey, Senti. Hey, everybody in YouTube land and Twitch land and so forth. Let me refresh. Let's see. I don't see it on YouTube yet, but that could be my fault. Hey, everybody. The background will come up shortly. We can only hope. Just getting things started. Yay, go Karen. She's playing a candidate master named Jem Gerner. He's 1968, and I think it's a male, but I'm not sure. And he's from Jersey, which I think is where Lulu Robs is from. Unless I'm wrong. She might be from Guernsey. I don't know. Jersey, Guernsey. Or maybe she's from like suburban New York and she's from Jersey. Also possible. Unfortunately, Dina lost. But she had winning chances after time control. Very sharp game. Dina said she's running late. Probably preparing for the game. Dina and her opponent both have 4 out of 7, and her opponent's rating is 1968. Dina has the white pieces today. Tomorrow's round is 4 hours earlier than today's round. So if you're on Eastern time, the round is at 7 a.m. If you're on the west coast of the U.S., then it's in the middle of the night. Thanks, Jay Santiago, for subscribing.
Animal Dina, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift.
Correct. All that stuff is true. Yeah, I think the notifications are being double notified, and that's why they're making so much noise and it's so weird. But I don't know how to fix that. But I'm sure that's what it is, that there's two separate things making the notifications and you're hearing them both at the same time. Probably it could be fixed in 10 seconds. I just don't know how. I don't know why it's doing that. So it's in stereo instead of mono. So that's good. Dina's playing D4 every game, so probably, but I don't know. I was invited last night to do work at the National Open like I did every year. I do game analysis and simuls and chess camps. I'm not sure I'm going to go this year, but if Karen can play in the tournament, then we'll definitely go. If she can't play, then I'll flip a coin or something. Because we're going to Vegas for 2 weeks at the end of June, beginning of July. So I don't know, going to Vegas twice. I did that last year. I don't know. So forth. I'm more like Dina's third. Anyway, so far this game is pretty high level, so Kramnik is probably mad. By the way, I've noticed something interesting. Every week, Kramnik gets more crazy. I mean, he used to say some people were cheating. Now everybody's cheating, and nobody's allowed to play good moves. And he said the reason people cheat is chess.com doesn't do anything about it, so they just do it openly. They don't even hide that they're cheating. They're just obviously cheating because they know chess.com won't do anything about it. That's his new thing. It's unfortunate that some people believe him, but the truth hurts. Karen beats me all the time, just not chess. Go, Dina. Set up that stream. You can do it. Maybe. Let's see. What did she say? 3 minutes. And she said that 2 minutes ago. So that's good. Yeah, he calls it Cheating Tuesdays. Dina lost yesterday. Yeah, she was winning yesterday around move 43, 44, and then messed up. Let's see if Dina's YouTube is set up yet. Not yet. Thanks, Kangaroo55, for subscribing at Tier 3. Yeah, the Ben bot is coming out Monday. So, what day is today? Wednesday? So, Monday, the 25th. The Ben bot does everything and more. I saw yesterday that Fabiano Caruana streamed for the first time in 6 years. Once every 6 years, what else? Yeah, what do you guys think today? You think Dina will play d4 again? Seems like that's what she's playing this tournament. Good afternoon. Where's it afternoon? Streamer standings. I like that. A passed pawn. Man, the truth hurts. TSA pre-expiring is white people problems. Yay, there we go. Dina did it. It's Ivanchuk. Crimson kinda subscribed. He kinda subscribed. Good luck to Dina. That's correct. Good luck to me. So I'm going to change the name of her opponent from CM Jem Garner to just Nerd. Nerd. So here, Nerd played. Is her time running? No, it's staying right there. It's right on the table. You can see the clock. Go, Dina. You can do it. He plays for Jersey. He's already winning on time. That makes it more exciting when you can't see the clock. It's Dina. You played against Gem in Rapid and Blitz. Good, good. And now the least important part of the stream, the chess. Oh wait, no, that's the most important part. D4, as predicted by the crowd. Knife F6. C4. The reason his flag is crossed out is that is his flag. Oh, snap! That's the Jersey flag. I guess he played G6 because I can't see what he did. That's the only square I can't see because the knight's blocking it. It's a King's Indian, sort of. Now it's really a King's Indian. Chuck must know this guy because the guy's from Jersey. This is the line that Dina won with in the Czech Open about 10 days ago. Maybe more than 10, I guess more than 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. She played Bishop D3 against the King's Indian. Actually, she lost that game, now that I think of it. But I was close. Always retreat. This is like my game with Yuri Shulman from the 2012 U.S. Championship. Unless it wasn't 2012. Then it was some year near there. Let's see if Bishop E2 is the most common. I assume it is because Dina played it pretty quickly. Get my database working. Okay, against bishop to d3, bishop g4 is the third most common move. And bishop e2 is the fourth most common move, but ChessBase gives it an X clam. And also Stockfish 16 says bishop e2 is the best move. And it scores the best, so she knows this. So she's a tempo down in a line that people typically don't play with black, which is just bishop g4 right away. Let's see. I guess he played c5. And she played d5. The most common move. Thanks, Hysteria Hills, for subscribing to Dina's channel. Knight fd7 and c5 are played equally. And d5 is the only move played. There's not many games in this line in ChessBase. The highest rated game is Geary White against Mamedov from 2023. White won. Thanks. I'm there a hawk. There a hawk. Thank you for subbing. Yeah, Geary Mamedov, and there's also a game Shankland was white, which he won against the 2500 I've never heard of. Morozevich won with black against Vallejo pawns in this position. So there's some Grandmaster games. 2600s, 2700s playing both sides. I think he played e6. Let's see. This is still the game Gary Mamedov. Let's see. There's some other games too. There's a game Darda Iragasi, which white won in 2021. So in this position, white almost always castles. And in one game, white played knight g5, but he lost. Everybody else castled. The engine says after castles, white is up 0.44. Basically, this is a Benoni with black having an extra tempo because white's played bishop to d3 and bishop e2. And most super GMs don't have a good opinion of the Benoni, so they're willing to play white a tempo down, so black plays the Benoni. And the engine agrees. The engine says white is better. Hi, Dina. Looking right at us. Still looking at us. We have a hype train on Dina's stream. So let's donate to Dina's stream and get that hype train going. We're only at level 1 right now. Got to support the streams and don't cross the streams. Jem Gerner's from Jersey. The same as Lula Robs. All right, let me get Dina's YouTube channel going because I don't see it yet. I don't understand. Here we go. Dina against the world. Sorry, I got 3 chats to look at. What else? Is Dina stronger than Anna Cramling? Yes. Why do people play the King's Indian? Because they like it. Good commentary. Thank you. Let's see. When is the Ben Finegold topless stream? Bring in the monies. GM Finegold again, several question marks. Let's see. And so forth. All right, so mainly the chat on YouTube is shallow and pedantic. Dina has 4 out of 7, as does her opponent. Okay, and Dina castled. We're still following the game Giri Mamedov, which Giri won last year. In fact, recently last year, it was in November of last year. I wonder what time control the Giri game was. Also, Matt Lakov won a game in 2020 with white. Jeffrey Shung and Benjamin Gladura drew a game in 2019 in this position. Fedoseev won a game in 2020 with white. Darda drew Sadikov. I don't know who that is. So still lots of Grandmaster games in this position. The engine says E takes D5 is the best move. And he's thinking. We'll see Giri Mamedov if that was a slow game or a rapid game or a blitz game. FIDE Grand Swiss. So it was actually a very important game. Giri actually recaptured with the E pawn after E takes. Giri played E takes. That was played November of last year, so pretty recently. And Geary won in 91 moves. God damn. So that'll be an interesting question, which way she recaptures if he takes on d5. There was a game in this position where it was white to move because white didn't play bishop here. Jeffrey Shung in a blitz game against Gladura, and Jeffrey took on e6. That was a blitz game on chess.com that ended in a 61 move draw. Let's see. Fedoseev, he had white in this position in a blitz game. And played, it was his move because he played bishop e2 instead of bishop d3, bishop e2. And he won in 20 moves. He played bishop e3, and he took with the c pawn. So you can take either way. When black captures on d5, white can play e takes d5 or c takes d5. They're both good. The engine slightly prefers taking with the e pawn, but you can do either one. Joe Tech 9 subscribed. Thank you. Yeah, he did take on d5, and you can take with either pawn, and it's fine. They're not all blitz games. One was in the Grand Swiss, the Geary game with Mamedov. Although the Grand Swiss could be a blitz tournament for all I know. What do I know? Dina seems more like a c takes d5 kind of player than e takes, just from her style. But, either one is fine. Geary seems more like an e takes d5 kind of guy. I played Alexei Suetin once, and I won. Go Ben. It was before you guys were born. Man, he was old then. He was old 30 years ago. Actually, the game was like 35 years ago. Yeah. I think it was in 89. E takes is more positional and boring, and C takes is more tactical and exciting. Yeah, and she played the tactical, exciting move. So this is a straight-up modern Benoni, which I just lectured on a few days ago, with black having an extra tempo, because white played bishop d3, bishop e2. So this position is theory if it's white to move. With black to move, it's probably less common. Yeah, there's hundreds and hundreds of games in this position with white to move. There's very few games with black to move. With white to move, knight d2 is the most common, bishop f4 second most common, h3 is the third most common. With black to move, there's like less than 10 games. There's like 1,000 games with white to move. So the engine thinks black is equalized, and it preferred to take with the e pawn for white having an advantage. So this is a straight up Benoni where black is up tempo from normal theory. Normally, if it was a straight up Benoni, like the normal move order. It's funny that I lectured on this on Monday. This is the normal Benoni. Okay, and this has 1,000 Grandmaster games, this position. And they have this position, except it's usually white to move. And it's black to move in Dina's game because she played bishop d3, bishop e2. So very common position, but an unusual person to move. Because of that, the engine in Dina's game actually prefers in this position that white play e takes d5 as Geary did. Then the extra tempo doesn't matter very much because it's positional and boring. And this is tactical and exciting, so the extra tempo, could help black. That's all very technical and doesn't matter for the result of the game, but it's interesting. Basically, Dina is insulting the opening. She's saying that opening is so bad that you can have an extra tempo and it's still bad. Truth hurts. Thanks Arsenal717 for subscribing, and thanks Mithras1 for 100 bits. Now we have a hype train on our channel. Should Dina have more points for her ELO? What? Can somebody translate into English? Do you mean should her ELO be higher? Or should she have more points in the tournament due to her ELO rating? He's asking if she's underrated. That's the first one. No, your rating is a consequence of your results. So nobody is overrated or underrated. Everybody is their rating. That's why they're their rating. When they win, the rating goes up. And when they lose, their rating goes down. Everybody thinks they're better than their rating, which is nonsensical. If you gave everybody 100 points, it's all the same. Everybody has 100 points extra. But that would make people happy. That would placate people. So sometimes FIDE or USCF does that. Lead Chess has artificially very high ratings, so you enjoy yourself. You can just add 1,000 to everybody's rating, which is basically what chess.com puzzles is. And then you can pretend you're 3,000 strength. Yeah, if you want to think you're good at chess, but you're not, look at your chess.com puzzle rating. See, you're good. You just didn't realize it. She's having an average tournament so far. Let's see, what'd he do? Bishop takes f3. Champ 1977 gave a lot of subs. 20 subs. Thank you, Champ 1977. That's more subs than I've gotten like the last 3 days added up. Yay, Champ 1977. Also, thanks Equation Slayer for 100 bits. Also, Champ 1977 gave 20 subs to Dina's stream. He's giving 20 subs to you. You get 20 subs. You get 20 subs. You get 20 subs. Yeah, if you're 2,500 on chess.com puzzles, your USCF rating is between 1,100 and 1,500. So, but 2,500, that's more important. So take that rating. Okay, bishop takes f3, and Dina's not back at the board, but I'm still going to play bishop takes f3. So there's a 15-minute delay on chess.com, but we're 15 minutes ahead of the game. We're in some kind of time loop I can't understand. We're in the future here. Okay, there's 2 games in my database with this position. And black won one, and the other was a draw. The game that was a draw, neither player has a FIDE rating. The game that black won, both players were 2,300 exactly. And the engine says white is very slightly better. But it's just a Benoni. It's a normal Benoni position. The reason black plays bishop g4 is to take the knight before white plays knight d2 to c4. Again, there's more games in this position with white to move than black to move. But the engine still prefers white because it's a Benoni. So it's the way it goes. Yay, go hype train. You can do it. Do you think if a player is left or right-handed, it matters when you're playing against them? It does in tennis, but not in chess. Good question. It also matters, like in baseball, if people are left or right-handed. In basketball, I guess it matters, but probably not very much. What's funny is the most famous people in the world in sports who are left-handed are not left-handed. The truth hurts. Phil Mickelson, who plays left-handed, and his nickname is Lefty, is right-handed. And who's the tennis player from Spain? Nadal. Rafael Nadal, who plays left-handed, is also right-handed. So the 2 most famous left-handers in sports are actually right-handed people. They've just chosen to play their sport left-handed. Phil Mickelson can also play golf very well with his right hand, playing right-handed. About 95% of people who are ambidextrous are left-handed. Yeah, a friend of mine who's a famous poker player who died a couple of years ago, Bob Schiffoni, he played billiards left-handed even though he's a right-handed person because he was taught to play left-handed. So that's the way he plays. I mean, not anymore, but when he was alive. So typically, black will either play knight bd7 or a6 here. Also, rook e8 is possible. Those are the 3 Benoni moves that black will play. Probably black will play all 3. But in what move order, I can't tell you. But those are typical Benoni moves. Knight here, rook here, pawn here. Occasionally, black will play knight a6 to c7 and try to play b5. In golf, in professional golf, you're allowed a certain number of clubs. So switching right-handed and left-handed would be suspicious because you can't have enough clubs to do that. Occasionally, because of where the ball is in golf, it's much easier, if it's in a bad place, you hit a bad shot, it's much easier to stand the other way. And some people will stand the other way and hit it with like the back of their club. But that's really rare. You can do whatever you want, but you can only have a certain number of clubs. And left-handed clubs and right-handed clubs are different. So you can't really play both ways and have enough clubs that would make sense. I've played golf. I have a hole-in-one. I have a certificate here that says I did. Go Ben. But I'm not a good golfer. I play, pitch and putt, par 3 golf, and I'm bad. Okay, he played a6 first. In my Benoni lecture that I did a few days ago, actually only 2 days ago, I said in lots of Benonis, black plays a6 and white plays a4. So it's a good thing they did, because now my lecture makes sense. That lecture will come out in a few days on the Benoni. I showed 2 games that black won and 2 games that white won. They're all famous games with famous grandmasters and such. Mainly and such. How is Nadal right-handed? Because he's right-handed. People are either right-handed or left-handed usually. Three streams, what else? Let's check in on YouTube and see if they're all still alive. Let's see. Go Dina. Can you give insights? I cannot. Ben, you look healthy. Look again. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. The Dina look at the camera is intense. We love you, Ben. Actually, there's not as much chat on YouTube as there was yesterday. There was like scrolling chat on YouTube yesterday. Okay, it looks like he played knight bd7 since there's a knight on d7 and not on b8. That's usually how I tell. Let's see if there's any games ever played in the history of chess in this position. A6. No games found mega database. A4. Okay, now there's games, but it's white's move. And then knight bd7. Something happened, I don't know what. Fen Beingold cheered 5,000 bits. Thanks, Fen Beingold. That's a very large donation. Okay, I have one game in chess history in this position. And it was a game between a 21-30 and a 25-40. And it was 2022. White played bishop f4, and white lost, but white was 400 points lower rated. The engine says bishop e2 and bishop f4 are the 2 best moves. Also, white can try to play a5. A5 isn't bad. Bishop e2 tries to prevent b5 and or c4, and it also prepares to play f4 later if white wants to do that. I'm not saying white wants to do that, but white could. But bishop e2 mainly is prophylaxis against queenside expansion by black in one form or another. Black wouldn't mind playing c4, knight c5, knight b3, knight d3, or c4, knight e5, then rook b8 and b5, and so forth. So white has the 2 bishops in the better center, and black has access to all these dark squares and a possible queenside expansion, since black has more pawns on the A, B, and C files than white does. So very rich strategic game. Who's better here? White is very slightly better. But, basically equal. But most grandmasters would rather have white here. 2 bishops and a nice center. The engine would rather have white. But that doesn't really mean anything. I would take either color here. This is just a regular Benoni. When I'm white in a Benoni, I don't like allowing black to play bishop g4 and takes. So I play h3 very early. Move 5, 6, 7 before they can play bishop g4. And then I put my bishop on d3. That's just the line that I play. Windows needs to reinstall. Leave me alone. Thanks for all the support on the channels. Finegold also subscribed at tier 3. I missed that. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for the bits. I'm going to refill my coffee. There's actually not much left, but there's a lull in the action. Let's see if anybody noticed I'm not wearing pants. I guess they noticed and didn't care. Truth hurts. I usually wear pants. Dina did make a move. While her bishop's on e2 and it's not on f3. Therefore, she played bishop e2. Engine approved. Yeah, so the idea, as I earlier stated, was black wants to do this, and white's like, nope. And white may want to play f4 and get a nice center. Although it might make more sense to play h3 and bishop f4 and put pressure on the d pawn and develop a piece and play queen d2 and make a battery. Basically, white has to decide, am I going to play f4 or f3? Because the e-pawn's going to come under attack with like rook e8. So you can play queen c2, bishop d3, or f3, and so forth. So the strong engine says it's about equal. If you play the Benoni, then you're happy with black here. This is like what you're going for. It doesn't mean it's good. It just means this is the Benoni. Play the Benoni. This is the position you accept. You're giving away the center and two bishops. You're getting an unusual, complicated position that's double-edged, where you can play against the e-pawn. Your knight has the e5 square. You can sometimes play b5. Sometimes you move your knight and play f5. And that's what you're doing. Now, without the knight on f3, Dina doesn't have a knight on f3. It's very difficult to play knight h5, which is something black usually likes to do. Knight h5, knight e5, queen comes out, knight f4. But knight h5 with the queen and bishop here isn't really good. You can play knight e8 and play knight c7 and try to play b5 or f5. f5 is very dangerous because it weakens black's position a lot. So typically black's going to play on the queen side. So black could play rook c8 or queen c7 to play c4 and then try to play b5 later. The problem with knight e5 right away is it gets kicked by the pawn. So very complicated position not easy to play. And so a lot of people who play the Benoni, they have a lot of Benoni experience because they play the Benoni, and their opponent has less experience because you only have white in a Benoni against people who play the Benoni. So you also have to know the King's Indian and the Queen's Indian and the Nimzo Indian, the Bogo Indian, the Queen's Gambit declined, Queen's Gambit accepted, Slav, semi-Slav, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't face the Benoni that often, and somebody who plays the Benoni plays it more than you. So at the club level, if you see a Benoni, then black probably has more experience than white. At the Super GM level, they know everything, so it doesn't matter. It's just who's better. And at this level, they probably know about the same amount, and they get an interesting position, and then the better player wins. And Dina's the better player, and the engine says she's slightly better, so I like it. And they've already made 13 moves, which is good when Dina, shows up late to the game. We know it's Dina's game because she's not at the board. Oh yeah, and Vartanak gave some subs and I didn't thank him because I was away. 5 subs from Vartanak. You're the best. I make fun of you when you show games, but you're still the best. I don't want to show any favoritism. I don't want to not make fun of you because you give me so much subs and stuff. No, I don't think it's theory for anybody. I think this kind of position they understand, but it doesn't mean they've ever had the position before. Let's see if we've transposed into any games. We have. There's a lot of games in this position, and it's always white's move. There's no games where it's black's move. There's a game, Wesley So Richard Report, that was played in May of last year, and Wesley played Queen C2, and the game ended in a draw. There's some other GM games, but the GMs aren't so famous. 2400, 2500. And white's played everything. Bishop E3, Rook E1, King H1, Bishop G5, F4, Queen C2. So it's not white's turn here because in the opening, Dina played Bishop D3 to E2. She lost the tempo. If it was white's turn, there's about 70 games that have played this position. And black is scoring okay. So at the Grandmaster level, this position does okay for black. And the engine still very slightly prefers white. Thanks for the kudos. On YouTube yesterday, somebody said my commentary was terrible and Pia Cramling's commentary is much better, which is probably true, but you don't have to say it. You can just think it. I mean, I would never say anything rude like that. Unless I was talking about a Dutch soccer player from 30 years ago. Then I might say something rude. More like 35 years ago, I guess. I can't say your name, but thanks for subscribing. Poitvin PM3. Thank you. Thanks for the subscription. I think his name was Ruud Gullit. I think he played for the Dutch team. He might play for the Belgian team. I don't know. Although your spelling of rude was very suspicious. It's not R-U-D-E. That's just the spelling of the word rude, not the guy's name. Who's the Belgian goalkeeper whose name I can never remember? He was the Belgian goalkeeper between like 1985 and 1995. He was very tall, had very long arms, and very curly hair. He was considered one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And I can never remember his name. But I knew it 35 years ago. Prudhomme, Michel Prudhomme. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, somebody got it. As soon as you say the name, I know. But I can't remember the name. Yeah, when I lived in Belgium, I watched a lot of soccer between 1988 and 1992. So if you have any soccer questions from 88 to 92, I'm your guy. Although I forgot everything. But I remember Roger Milla from Cameroon, maybe? He was great. Those are the days when Maradona was good. Prudhomme was Belgian. Who's the all-time GOAT of soccer? Well, if you don't play soccer and you don't follow soccer, then it's Pele. Because that's, he was famous. And it still might be Pele. A lot of people think it's Maradona, and a lot of people think it's, the guy who's good now, Messi. There's probably 3 or 4 more guys who are in that class that people think is the best ever. I think it has to do with your fandom. I think it's very difficult to be objective. I think if you're from a certain country, that guy's the best ever. I think it's too difficult to be objective. Those guys are all really good. Stan Van Gundy, he wasn't one of the best soccer players. All right, who is a better soccer player? The guy who bites people or the guy who headbutts people? Which one was better at soccer? And which was more devastating, if somebody bit you or headbutt you? Which is worse? Getting headbutt is worse than getting bit? Yeah, Suarez is the biting guy. Who's the head? Yeah, Zinedine Zidane. Yeah. So Zidane was a better player than Suarez? Is that what you're claiming? Mike Tyson also would take a bite, but it was a different sport. Also, didn't Suarez bite several times? Like, Tyson only has the one famous biting incident. I want a guy who's biting a lot. Yay, thanks, Finegold. That's right, he was in Victory. That movie did not get good reviews. I liked it when I was a kid. Yeah, that's called the bicycle kick. Finegold. Didn't Beckham also bite someone? I didn't know that. I didn't know Beckham bit someone. Probably bites his wife, but that's okay. So you're saying the career without the headbutting and biting of Zidane is better than that of the other guy whose name I already forgot. I'm smart. Suarez. You guys are saying Zidane was better than Suarez. 100%. Thanks, Mr. Ace Rothstein, for subscribing. I like your work. The room actually isn't dark. It's just because of the camera and the lighting and stuff. If you're actually in the room, it's well lit. I have been told. Zidane won everything in soccer. Suarez just for contests for sharpest teeth. After this game, Dina's opponent is starring in the musical Hair. So Dina's catching up on time. Dina was way behind on the clock because she started the game late, but now her opponent's been thinking like 15 minutes. When you say Maradona cheated, do you mean drugs or you mean the hand of God play? Which cheating are you talking about? Or is there a third cheating I don't know about? Also, when Maradona did incredible amounts of drugs, was that performance enhancing or that was just for fun? Or did he do both? Hand of God is fair. Damn, the truth hurts. No, just fun. He wasn't trying to be a better soccer player. He was just trying to do drugs. I've told this story before, but it's actually been over a year since I've told this story. A few years ago, probably more than a few years ago, I was in Vegas and I was at the Win or the Encore, same thing. I was playing blackjack. And it was a $25 minimum table, so I was playing for $25. Everybody else at the table was playing for a lot. And there was this very attractive couple playing. I don't even know who was better looking. She was like a supermodel, and he might have been better looking than her. And there was a loud guy at the table who had tons of money, and he was talking to everybody at the table. And he said, "Hey, what do you guys do? Who are you guys?" And she said, "I'm a model." And he said, "I used to play as a Dutch soccer player." He was like 6'4", and he looked like the perfect male specimen. He was just like in perfect shape. And they said they go to Vegas for like a month every year and just have fun. I mean, they were playing for a lot of money. And then there was another guy there, and the loud guy said, what do you do? And he said, I'm a TV producer in Britain. I mean, those guys were just whipping out $10,000 and playing $500 a hand. The loud guy was putting $500 on top of my bet. I was betting 25. So I made the decisions, and he had to stick with my decisions. He didn't care. I mean, I'm the right guy to do that with. He didn't know that, but he got lucky. You imagine betting on somebody else's and they make the decisions? They could make insane decisions. Then you just giving your money away. But he didn't care about $500. That's why it was funny. Man, this guy's been thinking a long time on this move. This is the most important move ever. Well, not frozen. Everybody's moving. Nothing is frozen. B5. What? The only square that white's defending 1,000 times. B5. God damn. I mean, it can't be good. There's no compensation for the pawn. He really played B5? Dina's like, what the fuck? B5. She might be thinking Stottefuck. I don't know. That's what I would be thinking. B5. Wow. Wow, the bad engine just says black resigns. Let's see what the good engine says. B5. Wow. What a move. The good engine says white is up 1.3. The bad engine says white's up 1.8. That was totally unnecessary. A lot of times, the weakness of a low-rated player is their feeling that they must do something. Now, they don't build. They don't build a position. They don't incrementally improve their position. They have to play whatever the most aggressive is or the most testing. And they can't play a building game where they slowly improve their position. So B5 is making it look like a Benko gambit where black doesn't really have any compensation. Like the engines think white is a pawn up and better. So definitely this is what's going to happen. So there's no reason for me to wait for it to happen. Okay, this is going to happen. So we're 15 minutes ahead of the game. Unlike chess.com, they're 15 minutes behind. Yeah, this is definitely going to happen. Nothing else can happen. It has to happen. I mean, white's a pawn up. White has two bishops. There's no way black can ever get their pawn back. There's no attack against white's king. I mean, black has just no compensation. Like, if you put a black pawn on a7, I would still say white's better. Yeah, just b5's very poor move. Dina knows it's bad, too. That's what happens when you play a sinister opponent. I mean, he knew what he was doing with b5. It's not a blunder because he knows what's going on. He's just wrong. He's like, I have good compensation for a pawn, but he does not. Game's not over. It's going to be a long game, but if two super engines were playing, white would win. If Leela's playing Stockfish, white's going to win. By the way, I noticed this with some low-rated players. They make a move where the opponent is defending that square a million times. Like a move you just wouldn't think of. And they do it. Like that square in black's territory was defended the most by white. White just played bishop e2. And then black played b5 anyway. Black convinced himself to play b5. He looked at b5. He didn't know if it was good or not. He looked and looked and looked. He took 12, 13 minutes. And that's all he looked at. And he's like, all right, b5. I don't know. Like if you look at b5 for 13 minutes and decide you're not going to play it, you just wasted a lot of time. So since you took all that time, you might as well just play it. That's what he thought. Bishop takes b5 is the only move. So thinking for more than 1 minute is unnecessary. All right, so they've caught up to our analysis. I mean, the guy's not a shrinking violet. He's not like, oh no, I'm lower rated. I have to try to draw with black. He's playing actively. Gave away the two bishops, gave away the center, gave away a pawn for active play. But there's not a lot of active play. Eat like a grandmaster. I mean, this is a dream for white. If only like Magnus Carlsen was doing commentary, he would be much more critical of b5 than I am. He would just leave. He'd be like, b5, I don't want to look at this game anymore. It's a nonsensical move. It gives a pawn away for like no reason. There's no reason to give a pawn away. Black could have tried to play c4 at some point by playing rook c8 or queen c7, and then try to play b5 and get good play on the queen side without sacking a pawn. And instead, not sure what black's plan is. I understand playing rook b8 and having half open and open files, but then what? White just has to consolidate. There's not a lot of play for black. The problem with playing knight h5 to open up your bishop is I can just drop back to e2, and then I don't know what you're going to do. Give up. Just totally unnecessary pawn sacrifice. So the good engine says white is up 1.46. The good engine says queen d8's the best move, and the second best move is even funnier. Queen e8. I'll tell you what move won't be played. Queen e8. That's not going to be played. Also, queen d8's not going to be played. Yeah, the engines think about chess differently than we do. We sacrifice a pawn and we try to get compensation. And the engine's like, why did that guy sacrifice a pawn? Now I'm going to play the best move, which is some random passive move that does nothing. So Terrible. Dina lost yesterday. At some point, she had a winning position. Jem is from Jersey. He even has a Jersey accent. It's funny because he's trying to get a position that looks like a Benko Gambit, but he doesn't play the Benko Gambit. He could have played the Benko Gambit, but he didn't. So I'm not sure why he's trying to get into a Benko Gambit. Beast at 160 gifted a sub on Dina's stream. Thanks for supporting the stream. Dina and her opponent have 4 out of 7. Yeah, their time is about the same now. Go, Dina. Trying to think what the difference between a normal Benko and this is. Because a lot of times white has an A pawn. The difference is, in a normal Benko, white has a pawn on A2 or A4, and black has a pawn on E7. And the pawn's a passed pawn, but a lot of times it's weak, because it can be attacked so easily. And white's exchanged rooks, which is very good, because the rook on A1 usually sucks in a Benko, and the rook on A8 is pretty good. It's on a half open line and this rook is blocked. So these are advantages that white has. You could argue it's good this pawn is gone on E7 because rook E8 puts pressure here. You could also argue it's not good this pawn is gone because bishop F4 attacks the D pawn. And occasionally in the Benko, black plays E6 and gets pressure on this diagonal, which obviously can't happen anymore. So it's just a very good Benko for white. And white has 2 bishops, which the Benko, black has a bishop here and plays bishop A6 usually. And they trade the white squared bishops. And with the bishops traded, black has access to C4 and D3 for his knights. But now he does not. So the fact that white has 2 bishops, black's D pawn is weaker, white's traded his A1 rook, which is usually bad. That gives white a lot of advantages over a regular Benko. Dina seems pretty happy. Country flag is Jersey. Bishop C6 played. Oh yeah, so black must have moved. He played rook B8. That's like the human move. The engine doesn't like it. But that's what a human's going to play, rook b8. Very Benko-esque. And the engine doesn't like her bishop c6 very much. It says, although I think it's fine, it says, I'm just worried that she's going to be forced to trade for the knight, which I don't want to do. It likes queen e2 the best, and then just like random moves like h3 and king h1. But bishop c6 is fine. So what Dina's going to do, unless I'm wrong, then she won't do it, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, is she's not going to allow knight e5. So the guy's going to move his queen, and Dina doesn't want to allow knight e5. So Dina's going to play f4 next move. So I predict the queen will move. I don't know where. Could go to a1, but a1 looks ridiculous. But I don't know what this guy's going to do. He's going to move his queen, and then Dina's going to play f4, so the guy can't play knight e5 and kick her bishop. So then she'll have a nice center. She'll prepare to play e5, something like queen e2 or rook e1 or both. And then if she gets e5 in, she's winning. So very, very reasonable play. So I like bishop c6, even though the engine does not. Okay, when I say it doesn't, it still says white has a great position, just not as great. Okay, queen a5 was played. And I think she has to play f4. Otherwise, I don't understand bishop c6, because knight here seems very annoying. Although she could play bishop f4 with the idea of knight e5, I take it. And that leaves this loose and this loose and this loose. So I don't think you can play bishop f4. I think you have to play f4. The stronger engine says all white moves are equivalent. f4, queen e2, king h1, h3. The weak engine says f4, roar, white's winning. Dina seems like an f4 kind of player. Let's see what my chat is saying. Was this a Benko? It was not. It was a King's Indian, then it was a Benoni, and now it looks like a Benko. So it started as a King's Indian, it transposed to a Benoni, then the guy sacrificed a pawn for nothing. I think her opponent should marry Emma Stone, who's already married, and he should change his last name to hers. Man, there's some guy who, on at least Naroditsky and Hikaru's channel, maybe more, but those are the two I know of, that gives 1 billion subs. I forgot what his name is, but you guys will know. He gives hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of subs. God damn. Yeah, and she played f4 as expected. Yeah, Chess on Earth. Yes. He gives more subs than atoms in the universe, or at least atoms on Earth. So the good engine says black should play rook b4 here. And it says the second best move is h5. The third best move is rook d8. Let me tell you what move won't be played. Rook d8. That will not be played. It says rook e8 is the second best move now. That also will not be played. He might play h5. He might play rook b4, but he's not going to play these other engine moves. It's ridiculous. The good engine says white is up 1.44. Also, if black doesn't play really precisely, the game's going to be over soon. White is going to play queen e1 or queen e2 or rook e1 and e5, and the game's over. So black has to do something about that. So if black doesn't play very well the next three moves, white's going to be like +5. So black better put on his thinking cap. Dina lost yesterday. She was winning at some point. I mean, white's a pawn up and white's better. Like if white wasn't a pawn up and I gave black a pawn on a6 or a7, white's still better. This position is not good for black. Black doesn't have any real counterplay right now, and white wants to play e5. And white's going to play e5 in 2 or 3 moves. And if white doesn't play e5 because black spends all of his time stopping e5, black doesn't have any counterplay because all black is doing is stopping e5. Black wants to do stuff too. I don't know what that stuff is. If I was black, I don't know what I would do. I guess he doesn't know either. He's just sitting there thinking, like, what do I do? Finegold suggests knight e8 to c7 to b5 to d4. Yeah, that's a plan, except the knight's hanging, and while you're doing that, I'm just winning over here. So I don't know, just winning. If you play queen c7 to defend your knight, you can't play knight c7. Maybe that's why the engine was thinking of rook d8. So that you could actually play this maneuver. Also, you can't play knight b5 because these 2 pieces stop it. So there's a lot wrong with that plan. For those of you who showed up late, the Ben Finegold bot, BenBot, is coming out on Monday. March 25th on chess.com. Go BenBot. I follow the American Cup, but I don't watch it. But I see the results like at night. So for the first time in the game, Dina has more time than her opponent. I don't think he's happy with his position. I mean, he's the one who sacked the pawn, so the onus is on him to prove compensation. But I think I would rather have white if I wasn't a pawn up. I like white's position. 2 bishops, nice center. Knight on d7 is sort of bad. Can't go to e5, can't go to c5. And if the knight could go to a good square, like let's say knight c5 was legal, then I play e5 because your knight's not defending e5 anymore. So the knight has nowhere to go, and it sort of has to stay there. And this knight can't move because this knight's attacked. So black's worse and a pawn down. M white has 2 bishops. And he's choking on his rage. So the engine says by far rook b4 is the best move. It says otherwise white is up 1.7 or more. After rook b4, white's only up 1.3, but still terrible. The BenBot says hundreds of things. So you guys will like the BenBot. Good afternoon, Red. I mean, psychologically, if you're black, you don't want to think, how do I defend against e5? Because you sacked a pawn. So you think, how can I get compensation? How can I activate my pieces? You don't want to spend your time stopping e5, because that's not why you sacked a pawn. It's not clear why he sacked a pawn. Black's position is so bad, even Ivanchuk isn't walking by every 5 seconds. The question is, will Dina ever come back? It's a boss move to never come back. Yeah, now Dina has more time, more pawns, more bishops, more space in the center, more pawns in the center. Queens and rooks are equal in number. That is correct. Dina does not smoke. Dina doesn't drink. Dina doesn't vape, etc. I don't know what Dina does, but I know what she doesn't do. Dina basically works 24 hours a day. She tries hard to make her channel affable and, provide a lot of content on YouTube and Twitch. Travel all over the world playing chess, making videos, etc. This guy is from Jersey. Let's see. Man, a good engine has been thinking a long time. Rook b4 is best. Rook e8 is second best. h5 is third best. But rook h4 is much better than the other moves. Also, after rook b4, the engine doesn't want to play queen e2, wants to play queen e1, which is interesting. I don't know if that's because it wants to do some kind of pin on the rook, or if it wants to play queen h4 later. I'm not sure why queen e1 is better than queen e2. It might not be. Maybe it is. He played queen b4. Well, he put something on b4. The good engine says, boo. Man, it hates that move. Go, good engine. Good engine says rook e1 and white's up 2.2. So I assume the guy doesn't want to lose to e5 in the near future. So he's seriously considering queen d4 check, trading queens and trying to have compensation in the endgame and not get run over with e5. Of course, after rook e1, white is threatening to run him over with e5. Queen e2 is also a very good move. The engine says king h1 is good because that stops queen d4 check, although it does give this pawn. Oh, it doesn't give the pawn away. The knight's hanging. So king h1's a move, rook e1's a move, queen e2's a move, and white is close to winning in all of the above. But rook e1 is the most pointed. Then you play e5 next move, or you try to. The ending looks just lost. Like rook e1, queen d4, I take and play knight b5, and both of your d pawns are hanging, and you're down a pawn. So I don't know, that doesn't seem good. And e5's coming. So rook e1, queen d4 doesn't make sense to me. And after rook e1, I defended my pawn, which actually isn't attacked, because your knight's attacked on d7, so you can't take it. So engine does not like the move queen b4. It's basically saying rook e1 just wins. That black doesn't really have a move there. I mean, because if you want to stop e5 and you play rook e8, you're pinning your knight. Ugh, terrible. Basically, white's a pawn up and better. That's what's going on here. Let's see what YouTube has to say for itself. How is our girl doing? She's winning. All right, don't see anything super interesting. and YouTube chat. Dina has 4 out of 7. That line does not give black counterplay. That just loses a piece. Is there no clock? There is a clock. In fact, there's a clock on the screen, but you can't see it. Also, there's a clock you can see, but it's facing the other way. Dina has 57 minutes, and her opponent has 54 minutes. That's an estimate. That's not necessarily true, but it's very close. If I refresh, it'll refresh the clocks usually. Then we can get a more, better estimate of what's going on. Yeah, so it still says like the same thing. And then he played queen b4 here. Chess.com is only 1 move behind because the guy's playing so slowly. Time isn't going to be a factor this game. They're already on move 18. So if there's any time trouble, it'll be very mild. Also, I'm not sure black is going to get to move 30. I think it's at least 50-50. White's going to win before move 30. Right now, the good engine says rook e1 is plus 2.5. I mean, black doesn't have any counterplay. Black doesn't have things to do. And white has something to do. White has more material. White has 2 bishops. So everything's good for white. White has more time, etc. Stacks paper to the ceiling. She rides on 24-inch chrome. And she broke her opponent's ankle with that crossover. Traffic jam near Dina's board. She played queen f3. That's a very human move. Defends the e-pawn. Stops queen d4 check, trading queens. Now, white can consider playing g4, g5, because the knight's defending the other knight. So black has to stop that. Can't allow g5 because you lose a piece. Again, the good engine says rook d8's the best move. I mean, that's so defensive. Black's not going to play that. I think black's going to play c4 because I think c4, knight c5 is the only counterplay. Fortunately, for black, after knight c5, e5 is just winning. So I don't know. I mean, this is the normal way to play, is to get your knight, do some kind of initiative. But you can't allow e5 because the white just crashes through and wins. Now the engine is saying like rook e8 is a move, but he's not going to play that either. He's not going to pin his own knight when g4, g5 is putting pressure here. That's just not what a human would do. Rook e8 doesn't threaten the e-pawn because this is all happening here. Rook e8 just pins the knight. So I don't care if the engine likes it, a human's not going to do it. The best move is this super passive rook d8. So the rook defends the knight, so this knight can move away if necessary after like g4, g5. I would be surprised if we get to move 30 and black is still like in the game. I think black's just going to be dead on move 30. I think Dina just thinks she's completely winning. But then she thinks, I shouldn't think I'm completely winning. That's when I start playing badly. That's what she's thinking right now. So like, I'm completely winning, but don't think about it. No, I don't prep openings with her. Every work that we do thus far has been on stream. So the public has seen all of our work. Not the good engine saying white's up 1.7 no matter what black does. H5 is a move, but the engine says white's up +2. So it's very weakening of black's king side. Then when white pushes through in the center, it's even worse. Dina has good banter. His name tag is on the side that you're confused about because he's left-handed and his score sheet's on the left. So then his name, the name card would block his score sheet. You can see his score sheet and his pen on the other side of the board. Dina doesn't care about that. She has her score sheet and her name thing there. They're almost touching each other. But that's why he did it. He must have moved it himself. Black was doing okay before playing b5. b5, like the losing move. And since b5, he hasn't done himself any favors. Rook b8 and queen b4, the engine doesn't like either one of those moves. Okay, the guy's a candidate master and he's 1900 something. He's not Magnus Carlsen. No, the arbiter decides where the clocks are in FIDE tournaments, not the players. I mean, the engine says all moves for black are giving black a very bad position. Like rook d8, rook e8, h5, c4. Those are the candidate moves, but I don't believe he'll play rook d8 or rook e8. I don't believe that. Who's going to pin their own knight? Rook d8 is pathetic. That's black's down a pawn. Can't play here. So, h5 and c4 are, gaining space in different realms of the position, trying to get black some play. On the other hand, it's weird to play c4 after you've played queen b4. Because you played queen b4, so you could pressure e4 and queen d4 check. So c4 just blocks the queen. And you can't play knight c5 because e5 is too strong. So that's why the guy's thinking so long. I don't really have a good move for him. Like, all moves lead to a losing position. So he has to figure out what gives him the best chances. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it is h5. Maybe Finegold's right. Because white could consider playing g4, g5 here, which wins a piece. So black has to do something about that. Bye, Radio Norbert. Not a lot of Benonis at the top level. Is Dina a friend of Anna Cramling? Probably. Knight b6. That move was not suggested at all by the engine. I don't understand knight b6. Isn't just e5 resigns? I'm not using an engine, so I'm probably wrong. Knight b6? Let's see what the bad engine says. The bad engine says e5 resigns. Okay, let's see what the good engine says. It says e5 resigns. Knight b6 is, I mean, black's not playing well since the opening ended. b5 was a mistake. Rook b8 was a mistake. Queen b4 was a mistake. Knight b6 was a mistake. But b5 was the big mistake. The other ones cost like 0.3 of a pawn, but he made like 4 of them. And then b5 cost like 1.3. So when you add all that up, the engine says he's down 3. The engine says white's +3 after e5. e5 is the most natural move. I wanted to play e5 the whole game, and he moved his knight away so I could play e5. After e5, white also has knight e4 coming, which is very strong. Basically, white's just crashing through. One of the engine lines is e5, knight e8, f5. Roar! And then white just crushes through on the king side. The queen and rook are really well placed on f3 and f1 for opening the f-file. Also, f5 opens up the bishop, and e5 opens up the knight coming to e4. It's funny, there's a famous game played in 1960 between Jonathan Penrose and Mikhail Tal, which Penrose won. And the idea that Penrose used can be used in this game. And that idea is to play f5 with white without allowing black access to the e5 square by playing e5 first. And then when you take it, then play f5. So then the black pieces can't go to e5. And in one of the strong engines variations, that's what happens. And I actually analyzed that game in my lecture on Monday. You can watch it on YouTube in a few days. So the strong engine is giving where that would happen is e5, knight to d7, knight to e4, threatening knight takes d6, so you have to take, and then f5. And this, when Penrose did this, he beat Tal. And you've never heard of Jonathan Penrose, and you've heard of Tal. And Tal was good in 1960. And now black wants to take this pawn off the board. Black wants to play knight e5 here. And black wants the bishop to be on the open diagonal. And this is one of the engine lines from the strong engine. This is actually the main line. Now, white's threatening fg and queen f7 check. So black must play rook f8, then f6, and frankly, terrible. And this is the engine line. And black's position's in shambles. Black's pieces are just all trapped. White has to pass d pawn. White has 2 bishops. White's knight on e4 is fantastic. The knights can't move. You can't move this knight because this knight's hanging. So the good engine says this is +3 for white. Just because black can't do anything. And that could happen. Dina's perplexed. Why is this guy letting me play e5? She's like, say what? Roger Penrose's brother, that is correct. Kramnik cries about everything. Kramnik has some mental illness where he must complain about every game ever played in Blitz Chess Online when it doesn't matter at all. He finds something that's not important and spends all his life complaining about it, and he's wrong. It's a very sad existence. What's my ranking? Bad. I'm knowledgeable because I'm old. So you accumulate knowledge as you get older. Quadruple digit at last with the Seinfeld reference. But would Kramnik cry if his grandmother died? Ah. Where is Kasparov? He's somewhere on the earth. Looks like she played e5. It's hard not to play e5. The guy's begging you to play e5. Who's my favorite chess player? Karen. Go Karen. So Dina will, after the game, I'm going to discuss this with her. Dina's thinking I'm completely winning, but I shouldn't think I'm completely winning because then I don't play very well. So this is the only thing she's thinking. That's why her face looks so strange. She's like, stop thinking you're completely winning. Wow, he played 98. That is not a good move. God damn, he never plays the right move. No wonder he's losing. Okay, so e5, knight ft7 is better than knight e8. I mean, every move wins. It doesn't matter what white does. I got nothing. Right now, the engine says that f5 is the most winning because you want to play fg and here. And you can't play rook f8 anymore because you played knight e8. So if I play f5, how are you going to stop fg and queen f7 check? The answer is you can't. And the engine also says knight b5 is winning because we're threatening the pawn. And if you take, I take back and I'm threatening queen f7 check again. And for some reason, g4 is the third best move. G4 doesn't do anything. Nobody's playing G4. I don't understand why knight E4 isn't very good. Knight E4 looks really good to me. Let me see what's wrong with it. It's really good. The only move for black after knight E4 that isn't dead lost is F5. God damn. F5 looks terrible. So lots of winning moves. F5 is the best. Knight B5 is the second best. And probably knight E4 is third. They're all very logical. Like right now, here's what she's analyzing. She's analyzing F5, queen D4 check, king H1, queen takes E5, oops, F takes G6. This is what she's looking at right now. Oops, pushing on the wrong. I got so many screens open, I'm confused. And then what does it want black to do? It wants black to play F5. She's not looking at F5. She knows F5 wins for white. So she's looking at FG, because that's what a human would do. And then white has a brilliant win here, which is very difficult to see. And that brilliant win is to play queen A7. Because you're attacking the rook, and the rook has to stay on the knight, but it can't. And you can't defend the rook. I mean, very hard for Dina to see queen F7 to A7. That's not easy to see. Yeah, and then black resigns. The game's over now. If Dina sees queen A7, then she'll play F5. If she doesn't see queen A7, she might like look at this in her head and be like, now what do I do? It turns out bishop F4 is also completely winning. Because the queen's defending the knight. So I can't go here, 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 can't go here. Bishop F4 just wins a piece. The queen has to move and I take the knight. Okay, so queen A7 wins a piece and bishop F4 wins a piece. So, all right. So she should see one of those moves. Because if I was white and I was analyzing F5, the only thing I would care about is queen check and queen takes pawn. Otherwise, as a human, I'm not worried about anything else. I'm sort of worried about that. That seems reasonable for black, but it loses everything. So if she plays F5, the game's going to end quickly. Okay, she played knight B5, which also I think was the second best move. Yes, also completely winning. Knight B5 also completely winning. Because you don't want white to take this, and you don't want to take and let FE happen and your F7 pawn's attacked. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you play knight C4 to defend D6, I just play B3. Kick your knight and then take on D6. And F5 is still always in the air because you can't play queen D4 check anymore because the knight's defending it. So if it was white's move, maybe F5 is even better than taking because you don't have queen D4, so now I'm just crashing through. Yeah, so this is move 21. This game's going to end in like 4 or 5 moves. This game's not going to go much longer. When you're a boss, you just do whatever the fuck you want. A lot of you guys are like, can you do this? And can you do this? And can you do this? The answer is yes. You can do whatever you want. If you learn that in life, you'll have a better life. Dina can eat at the board. She can eat away from the board. She can slam her fist on the table and say, I'm crushing you, bitch. There's nothing they can do about it. Nothing. You don't want to move quickly here. The game's going to end soon. No, you moved quickly. You can't move quickly. He played knight c4. White has two moves that win easily. b3, which is what will be played, and e6. But she won't play e6. She'll play b3. After b3, the engine just gives all his material away with this. And White's up in exchange and a pawn. You can even see that she's looking at b3, and she's like, that just wins. I can't see her playing e6, but e6 also wins. But I don't see that. I see b3. b3, the knight moves away, then everything wins. Taking on d6 either way, f5. Black's position's in shambles. After b3, if the knight moves away, I could simply take on e8, rook e8, knight takes d6. God damn. There's a lot of ways to win, but that's, the silliest for Black. After b3, he can resign. He could. He might resign after b3 because it's over. I mean, he's losing in every possible way. White's crashing through in the center. White's up material. White has two bishops. Black's pieces are not coordinated at all. They're all just randomly thrown on the board, etc. b3 is the last good move she has to play. If she plays b3, the game's over. I don't understand e6. I wouldn't even consider the move e6. That's the second best move. Yeah, she played b3. Yeah, it's over. I wouldn't be surprised if he resigned. I don't think he'll resign, but I won't be surprised if he does. Yeah, he knows it's lost. He's choking on his own rage. It says White's playing 94.9 and Black's playing 87.5. Kramnik said it's very interesting that Dina's playing 94.9. So the good engine says Black must give up the exchange. This position is ridiculous. White's up in exchange and better for no pawns. And White has this monster center. And Black's knight is on e8. This is +4. This is the best Black can do. It says bishop b2 is the best move. And then this is resignable because Black can't do anything ever. That's the best Black can do. I mean, if Black sees that, he won't want to do it. He'll want to do something else. But there's nothing else. So truth hurts. You can't let the knight stay there, and you can't move the knight. So, yeah, Dina's like, I know I'm winning. She's looking at the camera like, yep. This game's over, sucker. Yep, and he did sack the exchange. He's going into that line. That's the best move. It's the least losing, but it's pretty losing. Dina can also win very comfortably with bishop takes e8, which she might play. Bishop takes e8 also wins, threatening the rook and the knight. But I think she'll just take the rook. But it's nice when more than one move wins. B takes c4 also wins. She might play b takes c4. I don't know. They all win. Every capture wins. This is the best. This is second best. This is third. And they're all like +4, +5. So I don't know what she'll do because they all win. Tough decision. Do I win this way? Do I win this way? Now the engine is saying bishop takes e8 is better than bishop takes rook. I mean, it doesn't matter. When I say better, I mean like 0.2, like the same level of winning. I mean, bishop takes here is so simple. You're threatening both knights. So they have, so this is 4. Dina sees this position and she's like, this is ridiculous. So she might do this because it's so ridiculously winning. He may be playing too fast, but he has less time than she does. Bam. I mean, he didn't play well this game. Out of the opening, he was fine. And then as soon as the opening was over, most of his moves were bad. Kramnik approved. No, but 1968, of course, most moves are bad. But no need too complicated. It's such an easy win to play bishop takes rook. She has to do that. The other ones are like more interesting. You don't want interesting here. You just want like the game to be over. Yeah. Very good. Okay, so this is going to happen unless the guy resigns. But this is going to happen. He might just resign. Man, I wouldn't want to be black in this position. God damn. I guess he does want to be black in this position. All moves are +4. Every legal move. Like, even like if white gives her queen away, she's still winning, except for one thing. Somebody should go give Dina the wrap it up button. Wrap the gavel up. Yeah, the orchestra is playing him off. Yep, she played the engine move again, bishop b2. Yeah, if you're going to play f5, you might as well play bishop b2 first. Stops queen d4 check, defends the e-pawn, which wasn't really attacked. Yeah, white has perfect position. Next move, if black doesn't do anything, white can play bishop a1, so her bishop's defended, and it can't be attacked by the queen. Then she can do stuff, and the bishop's defended by the rook. But I mean, f5 comes to mind also as the next move. So Dina has lost interest in the game. They're on move 25. Resigning now is a good idea. It makes it a miniature. Yeah, I mean, Dina basically played perfect this game. I have no qualm with anything she did on any move. All moves were great. Her opponent was black. He didn't play well. He's lower rated. He's playing slower now. He knows he's lost. He's thinking about resigning. Dina's thinking, wow, this guy just plays terrible. That is what she's thinking. Like, this guy played really bad this game. Now she's thinking, why didn't I beat Salamova yesterday? Now I have to play this guy. He's like, why did I lose so badly? I never had a chance this game. He's furious. Yeah, when you have the black pieces and you don't play well, that's the double whammy. It's easy to lose with black. Looks like he wants to resign. There's nobody here. I can't resign. That's one reason not to leave the board when your opponent's going to resign, so they can resign. Resigning when it's an empty, when you're not there, is weird. He's got the resigned look on his face. You can resign whenever you want. Remember, you can always do whatever you want. Very nice game. Beautiful game from Dina. Can you discuss how GM Bach outperformed Danya, Hikaru, and Grishuk in Title Tuesday? I mean, that question is shallow and pedantic. Queen C2. Never resign. I can't suggest a move for a white because they all win. Any move that doesn't hang the bishop wins. If you hang the bishop, then it's closed. I assume she'll play bishop a1. Bishop c3 is good. Queen c3 is good. I don't think she'll play queen c3. Bishop a1 is the most likely. Bishop c3 is the second most likely. And then I don't know if there's a third most likely. Bishop a1 is a lot more likely than bishop c3. People that are walking around are people playing in the tournament, and it's not their turn. Although sometimes it is. Let's see. You want to be friends? Why can't we be friends? So how's everybody doing? You guys having a good day? Got any plans for later? You're eating a falafel right now. Good, good. Working 9 to 5? Ugh, terrible. Gotta go to work. No. It's funny, Mr. Dutuque. When I lived in Belgium before you were born, I played a tournament in France in a town called Le Touquet. Same Touquet, but Le Touquet. Small town. Very small. You like Lutsuke? Yeah, I mean, it was 35 years ago. It was a nice tournament. I forgot how I did. I don't think I won any prize money. You're donating plasma today? Good, good. There's a lot of female chess players who are overweight, and there's a lot who aren't. You have to get out more. Yeah, I predict bishop a1. I would be surprised if she doesn't play bishop a1. That seems like the professional move. Yay, Dina has over 1,000 viewers seeing her win. Unknown noob. Good. Excellent. That's right. Piyutka. Yeah, I think you want to finish on the Bach. Don't ever start on the Bach. Bishop a1, as predicted. Good, good. Alex and Andrea both blundered. No. If I'm white in this position, I'm playing like h3, king h2, or king h1. There's no reason to do anything. Your position's perfect. If you play e takes d6, black plays knight takes d6. I'm not like getting rid of my center for that. The point of queen c2 was to make f5 less palatable, because then you have to win an endgame instead of winning in the middle game. Yeah, the engine wants white to play queen a3 and queen a8. And then it's not clear what black should do there. Queen defends the d pawn, and that's not good. But it's really hard to find moves for black. But I don't have black, so I don't have to find them. Yeah, you don't want to play e takes d6 because black plays knight takes d6. That just helps black. Go Dina. And she went. Yeah, black doesn't have any counterplay. White just has a lot of extra material and better center. And knight on e8's no good, etc. Mainly, etc. How long was the longest game you ever played in a tournament? The most moves I played was like 153. And the most hours I played a game that was like 8 hours and 40 minutes. Yeah, 153 was a draw. Also, there was a chess tournament in Chicago, and the round was at 10 a.m., and we played 6 hours till 4 p.m., and the round was at 4 p.m. So then I played again, and I played 6 hours, and I ended at 10 p.m. No break. So I played 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I played 2 6-hour games. They were both draws. Truth hurts. Yeah, I had the game that went 8.5 hours was adjourned twice. That was in Amsterdam against Levsakis. What'd he do? He did something retreaty-like. Bishop f8 or king f8. Did he play bishop f8? God, what a passive move. Jesus Christ. He really played bishop f8? Ugh. God, I just ate. Always play bishop f8. The engine's looking, but it can't find a move that doesn't win. So the purpose of bishop f8 is to play knight g7, knight f5. So every move is +5. f5 is +5, e6 is +5, queen e3 is +5. Queen e3 with the idea of e6. Checkmate. I can see not playing f5 because after queen f5, you don't want to trade queens. But the engine doesn't play queen f5. Not sure why. I understand e6 because that makes the bishop really good. The good engine's also saying queen h3 to play queen c8 is a good move, but she's not going to do that. No, none of those games were when I was a GM. Yeah, but after queen c3, play queen takes e5. I don't think she'll play f5. Could play queen c3. Every move wins, doesn't matter what she does. Don't hang your queen, don't hang your bishop, and don't hang your rook, and you're winning. At the 1979 Michigan Open, I think it was 79, there was a guy named Letterman. He was like a player. And he played my dad a game at 10 in the morning, one round. And they played till 4 or 5, and they adjourned. Then the guy played the next game at like 5 or whatever. That game went till 4 in the morning, his game at 5. Then at 4 in the morning, they played the adjournment off from my dad and the other guy, and that ended at 7 in the morning. So the guy played chess from 10 a.m. to 7 a.m. with almost no break. The guy was an A player. He drew my dad, and he drew the other guy. My dad and the other guy were both about 2,200, so good results. And then that was on a Sunday, and then on Friday, the guy died, and he was 39 years old. True story. But he drew both games, so. What'd she do? Queen h3. Yeah, that's actually the strong engine's first move. Yeah, she's really sharp today. Yeah, you want to play e6. You want to play queen here. Queen d7 looks pretty good too. Yeah. Also, she can play f5 now, and you can't play queen takes because the rook is here. So queen c8's an idea, queen d7's an idea, e6 is an f5. Queen h3 was a strong engine move. That was the best move. Okay, he played knight g7, the point of bishop f8. So the good engine says e takes d6 is +6, queen c8 is +5, queen d7 is +4.7. I don't know what she'll play because they all win immediately. I think she'll play queen d7. I think that's the most human because you could take on d6 for free and e6 is winning immediately. So I think she'll play queen d7. That's my guess. That seems like the most human way to win. No, after queen d7, queen f5, e6 is just crushing. Then if you take it, I play bishop takes knight, take this, queen my e-pawn. And checkmate you. Both boats has about to lose? No. Man, chess is tough. Play chess, you lose sometimes. It's good Dina's taking her time. She's not rushing. She's Russian, but she's not Russian. Andrea has 2 minutes left and is on move 14. Yeah, that's not acceptable. Everything wins for white. It doesn't matter what white does. +6, +5, +4.5, whatever. White has more material and a better position. Anyway, I predict queen d7. Okay, I was wrong. She keeps playing the number one engine move. Like, every move she played, queen h3 was number one engine, e takes d6 is number one engine. Nice bishop she's got there. So white's threatening d7, d8. White's bishop is now open. Yeah, the truth hurts. Engine says black should move the queen. Like, queen here? Ugh. Queen here, queen here, queen here. And white's up 6.4. I think he'll just take this. I can't imagine him not taking that. That pawn looks pretty dangerous. Yeah. Queen c3 is winning. Queen c8 check is winning. Rook e1 is winning. She won't play rook e1. That doesn't threaten rook e8. So. Yeah, queen c8 is what I would have predicted. Then he'll play bishop f8. Always play bishop f8. And now she can just queen her d pawn. d6, d7, d8. So she'll probably do that. She'll probably push her pawn like here. It's a good plan. Dina's taking her time, which is good. She's not rushing. I can't make the Russian joke anymore. And she's not Israeling, and she's not charlotting. She's playing just the right amount of time. Alexandra Rival has blundered. It's fun sitting there not moving, making your opponent suffer. This is move 29. It looks like the guy's going to make it to 30. I didn't think he would do it. Yeah, problem with black's position, one of the problems, is if I play d7 and you play knight e6 and queen d2, for example, to stop me from queening, I can play bishop f6. And then that resigns. So you really can't stop me. I mean, d7, bishop f6, queen. Or d7, d8, queen if you don't put all your pieces on d8. I'm going to use the restroom for obvious reasons. I have to use the restroom. Maybe I should get another drink. I didn't miss anything. Okay, he played knight e6. It's hard to believe that she won't play d7. Somebody's suggesting knight f5, then I just play d7 and you resign. Threatening queen takes check and mate. Knight f5, I play d7, so you're not taking on d6. Yeah, that just gets mated. Queen takes and mate. Checkmate. Hooray. Okay, and she played d7. Yeah, any move you could resign. I don't know. Now's a good time to resign. I mean, white's going to queen or play bishop f6 and then queen. And then white's up a rook. Dina played a perfect game. Nothing wrong. The inaccuracies weren't really inaccurate. They're fine. Did you check Anna's board? Who's Anna? Oh, you mean Anna Cramling? You spelled Anna wrong? I haven't checked anybody's board but Dina's. Go, Dina. I only look at my granddaughter's board. He earned his rating this game. They both have like 25 minutes and they're on move 31. My granddaughter's playing right now. Go, Dina. Loud boats has equal, louder boats has lost. I heard Alexandra was losing and her opponent blundered, and now she's not losing. Truth hurts for her opponent. I don't have any thoughts in my head. My thoughts are white's winning, every move wins, is black going to resign? Those are my thoughts. And that Dina played a perfect game. Lots of viewers on Dina's channel. Go, Dina. Yeah, but thinking's not your strong suit. Can you recommend any Chessable courses? Yes. Type exclam Chessable and buy those courses. Go, Dina. Man, I'm getting hungry. Both sides have 20 to 25 minutes left. They're on move 31. So time's not really a factor. Hello to Germany. You haven't seen me in 9 months. Okay, he played Queen D2. I mean, Bishop F6 seems automatic. That's right. We're probably going to raid Botez today. Usually she finishes after them, which still could be the case. Yeah, but knight f4, I just take on f8, queen. Yeah, if you play knight f4, queen takes bishop and queen rook up in the endgame. Go, Dina, come back to the board. Mm-hmm. Man, everybody's streaming now. Is there a tournament going on? What do they do on Wednesdays? Arena Kings? Does Arena Kings still exist? Got Naroditsky, Rosen, Bortnik Chess, Chessbra, Benjamin Bach. A lot of streamers are streaming. Just ended? Ah, I see. Waffle Wednesdays. No, Jospin, where's Kramnik to complain? Man, Dina's gone for a long time. Go, Rosen. It's Dina. Go, Dina. Jose Rodriguez 1905 subscribed. Thanks for supporting the stream. Go, Ben. Go, Jose. Slunishes. Yeah, it could go knight f4, queen f8 resigns. Seems like a reasonable way to end the game. He played c4. The pawn's too strong. There's too much counterplay. So bishop e7 is the engine move. Then you're threatening to take, knight takes, and queen. That seems pretty annoying. I don't know what to do about that. The good engine says +9. Yeah, bishop e7 is pretty annoying. Go Thaddeus. I would assume d8 queen is winning. Let's see. Knight takes d8. Queen takes d8. Takes. I don't think this pawn can get all the way to c1. Yeah, the engine says the pawn can't get anywhere. Yeah, if you play here, I just play here. Play bishop a3, I can play bishop f6 or bishop a5. Yeah, so she might queen. She might play bishop e7. They're both so winning. I don't think she'll play anything else. She'll either queen or play bishop e7. She got plenty of time. So. Both logical moves win, and other moves also win. And if it's black's move, white is also winning. It's tough when every move wins. Her opponent's rating is 1968. Yay, GM Signs is rated with a party of 23. Hope you had a good stream. Thanks for the raid. It looks like she played the engine move again with bishop e7. Man, it's hard not to resign now. Truth hurts. Now the good engine says plus 15. Man, 15's a lot for a good engine. Thanks for the raid. Go Raiders. The Raiders. It's GTO Poker Legend. Dina and her opponent both have 4 out of 7. This is round 8. Tomorrow, if you want to tune in to watch the games, The round starts 4 hours earlier than it does today. So Eastern time, 7 a.m. 11 a.m. in Iceland. Come on, he wants to resign. Get back to the board. Or he doesn't want to resign. She'll play King H1. What's the time? It's time to get ill. Now, what's the time? It's time to get ill. They both have plenty of time. Go, Dina. Queen D3. She'll play Rook G1. So I'll play it before she does. I don't want to waste any time here by waiting for her to move before I make the move. This is a good time to resign because there ain't no more moves. Resigns is forced. Yeah, he resigned. The only move. This looks like the famous game Gotcha versus Bitch. Great game by Dina. Beating the sinister opponent. You guys donated to Dina's stream. That's why she won. Make sure you do that every round. The more you donate, the more she wins. She plays to the crowd. let's see. It says Dina played 96.4 and her opponent played 88.4. I would say that she played better than that and he played worse than that, if I was giving accuracy. This is the chess.com position. His rating was 1968. Yeah, we'll have an interview in about 10 minutes. Andrea resigned. Go, Alex. Yeah, if Alex's game never ends, we can raid Alex. But if her game ends, then I don't know. I guess we could still raid them. They might be analyzing the game with Hammer. I don't know what they do after the game. Do they do a postmortem with Hammer? The Botezes? All right, let me get the other scene set up. You guys won't see me because I'm waiting for the call. This is the critical position of the game. B5, and she was winning the rest of the game. Yay, Finegold, 300 bits. So in 5 to 10 minutes, Dina will be on a Zoom call, and we'll go over the game. Yeah, he played B5 here, and then he was lost the rest of the game. And she played basically perfect. And he made probably 5 or 6 more mistakes after he played B5. So he didn't play very well this game. And she played very well, and she was white. So it was a rout. I think Dina really understood the game too by her body language. I think she always knew what was going on. Six is a nice score if she can win her last game. She'll probably be paired up. So if she can win the last game, 6 out of 9 is a good score in an open tournament like this. Bishop E8's illegal. Yeah, we're going to go over the game. Wait till Dina gets here. Dina. We can look at Alex's game until Dina shows up. Botez is black. Says it's about equal. Her opponent's at IM, and he's 2166. What is he, me? He's from Scotland. Yeah. He must be old school. This is Botez's game, Alex. Andrea lost. Dina won. And this position, So it says knight f8's in red. So they have this position. Queen d6 was +5. Queen d6 winning. And instead he blundered. Queen d6 is the only winning move. And he blundered with knight f8. And now it's equal. Yeah. So knight f8 was a blunder. And queen d6 would have won the game. I have a face for radio. It's good you can't see me. So this is live. Well, this is 15 minutes ago, actually, in Botez's game. So this isn't the current position, but 15 minutes ago, this was the current position. Let's have a look at Andrea's loss, see what happened. (92) double question mark. Queen c7, white resigns. Man, the truth hurts. Yeah, black's just winning a piece. She already lost, but this is 15 minutes ago. All right, I mean, she's down tons of material. She just blundered, made one move blunder. Okay, let's get back to Dina's game. Dina. Yeah, when Andrea played knight e2, queen c7 was winning a piece because she got her pieces all trapped. Dina should be here shortly. She has to set up for the Zoom call. And here she is.
Hello.
Hey, Dina. You made so many blunders that game. Wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I even thought maybe he was just intimidated by the camera and nervous because he did not play like 1900. He played
No,
like a
I said
1500.
you made so many blunders.
I made blunders?
So many.
What?
I mean, you were so lost. I couldn't believe you won.
What?
Wow.
Hey, Ben, stop it. You're a troll. Stop it.
On the other hand, you played perfect that game.
Ben,
I was
you
teasing you.
scared me.
Yeah,
You
no,
scared me.
You played perfect. You couldn't improve your play that game. The engine only says you played 96.7, but you played better than that.
Lol. I'm shocked. I feel bad for my opponent because I'm sure he was intimidated by the camera because like it's just no way 1900 candidate monster can play like a 1500.
Yeah, he made a lot of errors. So this was the key position of the game, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, up until here, he's just a tempo up on a normal Benoni, so you're slightly better. Then b5, he's just lost.
Who is the tempo up?
Your opponent is a tempo up. You played bishop d3, bishop e2.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're just playing a Benoni down a tempo, which is fine. There's a lot of games in your line, except it's always your move instead of his in the games that I'm looking at.
Wow.
Because, it's a normal Benoni where you play bishop e2 instead of bishop d3 to e2. So
I actually don't know, like...
Just so what you know, Geary had a game in this position, and the engine and Geary agree that you should take with the e-pawn.
Oh, that's probably what is in my preparation, because it's like this bishop d3 2 maneuver must have some meaning, but I had a memory of this structure, but I just didn't know what exact position, so I decided to go which seemed more
I thought
logical.
you would take with the c-pawn. That seems more natural. Yeah. And then a b5 is just insane. So I said, well, you're going to win now. b5's terrible.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
just a
what
terrible
was
move. And then you played perfect every move. Rook b8's also bad. I predicted all of your moves. I was like, she'll play f4, she'll do this, she'll do this. The engine wanted to...
you do this against me?
Yeah.
I wanted to finish him fast. Because,
the engine wants to play rook e1 in this position, but queen f3 is fine. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Everything's winning.
I also looked at queen e2, but okay, queen f3 is more
Queen
natural.
e2 is also good. Knight b6. Man, knight b6 is a bad move.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like every move I was doing was so
he just
bad.
played bad. Yeah, and even here he should play knight fd7. Knight e8's bad.
Yeah,
and
it's like literally every move.
In this position, knight b5 is good. You have a quicker win if you play f5.
Ooh, I thought about it.
Yeah, so this is the main line in my opinion. This is the main line.
Oh no, I didn't think. Wait.
And then in this position, you have two moves that win. Bishop f4, and he can't save his knight. His queen can't go to save the e8 knight. And a funnier way to win is queen a7, and he can't save his knight and rook.
Oh, God.
So after f5, this was the only thing I was worried about was queen check, queen e5. That loses a piece. So now I didn't know what he should do. That's all I think the engine says he should play f5 in this position. Ugh. But then it says everything wins for you. Every legal move wins. But knight b5 was also winning, so I'm not complaining. Knight b5 is great.
He should play like knight d2 or knight a5. And then I thought I'd just take the knight. Yeah, no, that's correct. After b3.
No, after b3, he can resign. The engine said rook takes b5 is the best move.
What? But wait, I was expecting knight d2 or knight a5. But then I just take the knight
a5
on e8 and take the pawn on d6.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the +4.
Wow. Yeah, well, it's just pretty simple. So yeah, I guess the
B3
the line
was
that
the
you
best
just showed
move.
before is more complicated.
B3 was the important move of the game. And e6 is also winning, but I knew you wouldn't play e6 because that's crazy. But
oh yeah, that's totally
B3
crazy.
I thought you'd play. And then bishop b2 is
I
best.
looked at
Bishop
e6
a1 is
though.
best. All your moves are best. Queen h3 is best. Taking is best. Check is best. d6 is best. d7 is best. Every move you made was the best move.
How about bishop e7?
Number one engine move, every move.
Yay! Even bishop e7.
Number one, every move number one. Queen h3, taking on d6, queen c8, bishop f. Every move number one engine move.
Look at me, chat. Look at me.
Yeah.
Am I not a genius?
This game you played awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had white, you played well, and your opponent didn't, so you got the deserved win.
Yeah, and also I got to practice another d4, which is awesome.
You're the d4 genius.
Yeah, but I actually, it's like I wasn't until now I wasn't playing your lines, but I actually am looking forward to go back to your course and try your weapons as well. For those who don't know, Ben has a course on 1d4 on Chessable.
Thank you.
I don't remember. I don't remember what you recommend there against King's Indian, but I'm gonna go back to that because now it's been 3 games in a row I played Bishop D3, so I should definitely stop in any case because people are gonna prepare.
Yeah. Hey, you won. It just said you won.
Nice.
Now we know how long
nice.
ago you won.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, today was a quick game.
Yeah, I thought you were going to win in like 25, 30 moves after B5. Then he wasn't resigning, so then I can't predict when you're going to win because your opponent doesn't resign. So
Yeah, it's crazy that he played so fast all these mistakes, and then he started thinking.
yeah,
It's really crazy. It's like he started thinking and he started like, okay, spending time on how to sit there for long, which wasn't making any sense either.
thanks Charlotte Chess Center for subscribing to Dina's channel. Do you know this guy, Charlotte Chess Center?
24, never heard of him.
Damn.
24 months, it's 2 years. Oh my god, it's an anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit early though, in March. Anniversary. Wow. How are my sisters doing? I don't
Andrea
know what-
lost. Andrea
too?
blundered a piece in like just as the opening ended. So she lost really badly. And Alex was completely losing, and now it's equal.
Wait, she's winning. She's completely winning.
Alex
No?
is? 10 minutes ago she wasn't.
Yeah, oh my god.
Let's have a look. Let's see. What's
king is
Botez's name?
safe.
Botez? Her opponent
Yeah.
misplayed it in this position. So in this position, if white plays queen d6, white's winning. +5.
Wow, 96 double exclamation mark.
Yeah. Queen d6, exclam winning. But he blundered knight f8. Now it's equal.
Knight of 8.
And this is the last position we saw. And the engine said queen check, king g6, queen takes bishop is equal. Although obviously I'm going to take black there because I like the rooks. But he played this.
Nice. Would you take on g5 with a pawn, I guess? Because
It actually wants to take on b3 first, but yeah.
oh,
Yeah, you take with the
I'm
pawn.
just queen
eventually.
e7, g6, queen takes d7, and you take on b3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then take with the f pawn. Then the engine says it's a draw.
Okay.
But he played here. Now she's better. Because now the king is no good. Bishop goes to e4. And black's king is safer.
Wow. So basically, literally, white's king is weaker.
Yeah, so now all 3 results will happen. Also, I'm confused. Her opponent's an
Wait, this is
IM,
not.
and he's
This is not the
2166.
current position. This is not a current position. Oh, it's because of the delay.
It's 15
I
minute
see.
delay, yeah.
If you open Buddha's live stream, you will see Hammer makes the moves on the board.
Yeah, I can do that. Maybe.
No, I mean, you can just take a look, but it looks completely winning. But Alex is in 1 minute. What did you say? Sorry, I interrupted, as usual.
I said
Your
something?
opponent, you said...
I didn't say nothing.
You said something about her opponent.
Oh, yeah, her opponent is an IM, but he's 2166.
Yeah. Yeah, I also...
I can
It's
see
like
he's
me.
not the
I'm
youngest
an
guy in the
IM.
world. Yeah.
I'm also an IM, unofficial, but 2166. I almost got paired against Alex. We only were like 20 elo points difference. My opponent was 1986, and Alex is something like that. Yeah, my opponent was 1966, and Alex is 1986. There's only 20 points apart. Whoa, she got paired again 2166 and I'm 2164. So
Close.
it's so unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
We could have easily got paired.
And colors are
today,
right,
but
too.
okay.
Do you want to play
Yeah,
Alex or
and
you don't
colors.
want to play her?
Of course I want to play Alex. I mean, this would be the most watched Twitch game of all time, apart from our chess boxing with Andrea. But that's crazy. I'm curious. Yeah, I want to see. Wait, they just got. Oh, they just passed move 40. Oh, that's amazing. So they just passed move 40 and Alex is winning.
Yeah, I know the bishop's on f3, but I don't know the moves. I can see the position, but I don't know how it got there. But the position's a lot better for black than it is even here. Black's really improving her position.
That's exactly the point. Yeah. Damn, I feel bad for this man. Also, he was very annoyed about our photographer.
Your opponent or this guy?
No, Alex's opponent.
Oh.
My opponent was extremely nice. Way too nice. But you know what they say. Nice guys finish last.
Oh, snap.
Sorry.
But you're nice and you won, so.
I wasn't nice. I was fake nice. Yeah.
So Alex has good winning chances.
Damn. I guess Andrea must have tilted because she didn't even join the view.
Yeah, she blundered a piece pretty early, and somebody on my stream, or your stream, said after move 14 she had 2 minutes left.
After move 14 she had 2 minutes
That's
left.
what somebody on your stream said. I don't know if it's true. But she blundered a piece.
She took Adderall this morning. Shirley said, "Oh my god, I'm so fast with my Adderall. I'm so stupid not to take it yesterday." And like, yeah, we saw how fast she was the whole game. She was literally the slowest.
The truth hurts. Well, we can raid boats as instead of them raiding you. It's never happened before.
It did happen once.
I know.
But yeah, but can you show me quickly how... yeah, I guess Alex is gonna cook him. Can you show me quickly how Andrea lost?
Yes.
Going to send a memo to feed a doping committee. Oh, about Adderall. I'm curious. Actually, that's a good question. No, but Andrea's been playing on Adderall in Charlotte, and she had like fantastic tournaments. And then she also played on Adderall in Prague, but not as much.
Yeah, in this position, she made the losing move.
What did she do?
She played 92,
bishop h7?
and that loses immediately.
Oh, no.
Queen c7 and wins a piece.
Oh my god.
The knight moves e5, e4, bishop's trapped.
Is she serial?
She's a serial killer.
That's
Adderall,
impossible.
no, you didn't. Yeah, then it's +4 for black the rest of the game.
And let me guess, she must have thought for 20 minutes on this move.
Actually, yeah, it says she thought forever on move 11, on move 92. It says she thought forever on this move. Yeah. That's the longest thing she had in the game.
Yeah, that Adderall wasn't good. Like it's unbelievable. She literally said, "I'm so fast. I shouldn't have taken it every day. I'm so fast." And then she thinks about 20 moves on each. She probably has like she probably calculated like 10 big supply on every move with her Adderall, and that's why she thought for so long.
Somebody said she took 40 minutes to play 92, which is just a blunder. Long think, wrong think.
The way to improve the worst piece is by giving one away.
Terrible.
Snap. Andrea Bodas. Yeah, but I'm gonna be so proud. I mean, I'm so proud of Alex already. But if she wins, that she's gonna be so happy. Oh my god, this is gonna be her second IM win. She's gonna feel so good about herself.
So the good news is you won, and the bad news is the round tomorrow's 4 hours earlier.
Well, the good news, Ben, is that it's not 9 a.m. as the previous rounds. It's 11, which is fine.
Yeah. But for me, it's 7 a.m. No.
I mean, 7 a.m. is better than 5 a.m.
That's correct. Much better.
Yeah. Andre is definitely gonna need a French honey Dijon mustard pretzel. When Dijon mustard is playing on the board 3 against the youngest female I am in the history. I wonder how are they doing?
What's this on board 3?
Okay. Yeah. Let's see how sharp Ben is today, if he can figure it out.
Must be this game.
Ben is a sharp cookie.
White has good winning chances. Black has drawing chances.
Ooh, so if Mustard is lucky, he can save.
Thanks, Hollerback20, for subscribing to Dina's channel.
Thank you so much for subscribing. Wow. Damn, the girl is riding him all right, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I read that this girl is the youngest. It's probably, I don't know if it's this girl or another girl. Or maybe it's another girl. But yeah. How is Anna Crumming doing? She was in a big trouble.
I heard she was dead lost, and now she's not dead lost. That's what I heard. It doesn't mean it's true. But, you know, I'm telling you what I heard.
No, she saw it. I saw it. She was dead lost.
Well, now she's close to winning.
Whoa, really? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Wait, what?
Bishop takes...
I thought the pawn was on b2.
Yeah, let me refresh.
Last time I saw the pawn was on b2.
I'm refreshing. Okay, I refreshed, and now it's a lot different.
What? White is a knight up? Oh my god.
Let's see.
How did... Whoa. How did...
Okay, so black's winning.
Yeah. That's what I saw.
And then rook e8 double question mark. So h5 wins, king f8 wins, everything wins. This just gives the b2 pawn away. So that's absurd.
Oh.
Now
no.
Black is slightly better. Now it's equal.
I'm curious what he blundered. Why didn't he just
And then that loses a piece to d7. So bishop c6 is a blunder.
Oh.
Yeah, and rook takes as a blunder. Knight b7's winning.
Okay.
But after rook takes, the endgame is a draw if she trades. He has to take the rook or he's losing. Then king f7 and endgame is a draw.
Oh, I see, yeah. He took the rook.
He did take?
Yeah, I just lurked in on a stream. And they're playing the sand game.
Yeah, it says this is a draw.
As you say.
Makes sense.
So you say Anna should have played knight b7.
Knight b7 was winning, yeah.
What move was it?
Move
like,
36.
Oh, so it was like probably a time trouble.
Doesn't seem easy to win to me.
Russians put mustard under dogtail while jet dogs competition. That's a deep one.
Yeah, this might not be winning. It's good for white, but I don't know if it's winning. This might be a draw too. But this is much better for white. White has winning chances here. White has no winning chances the way she played.
What if pawn what to do after b4? King f1?
In what position? Here?
That one, yeah. b4 was the last move when you the knight with the knight on b7 and the rook on d7.
Knight c5 is the best move. Then if b3, rook d1.
Oh, so basically I see. So yeah, it's important to keep the rooks because it gives more flexibility. And plus you will win the b pawn.
Yeah, this ending's not easy to win. This is drawn a lot of the time.
Yeah, but it has more chances than the current one.
Right, the other one, white's not even better, it says.
I see. Interesting. All right, well, so Alex just played d4. Probably wins as well. Okay, well, we gotta support my sister.
Yeah, but you have so
So,
many sisters.
No, I only have two, but
One we're not supporting right now.
one auto, how you say? I don't want to be rude. Canceled herself.
Yeah.
So, there must be a better way to say it. Auto something. Okay, we gotta read Lotus.
At the end of Andrea's game, Adderall, her pieces were gone.
Yeah. Auto-destructive. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, guys, on Twitch chat, we're gonna rate Lotus live, and on YouTube chat, thank you so much for watching and rooting. And yes,
Don't forget, everybody,
congratulations
the round's 4 hours earlier tomorrow. Tune in early.
Yes, tomorrow we're gonna be live on 11 a.m. Reykjavik time, which is 7 a.m. Pacific. And D4 Bishop F4 the guy played. Okay, we're gonna support Alex in her win. In her up. Hopefully she finishes the job. We're gonna support her. And hopefully we'll be celebrating. Man, Alex is gonna be really happy.
If she wins.
If she wins, she's gonna win.
Looks like she will.
I mean, she's completely winning, and she got extra 30 minutes. She's not gonna let the fish get. And the guy has no ideas, right? Yeah, I guess he cannot take the phone.
No, but good job. You played really well today.
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you, but I don't know. It's like, I mean, I'm happy that I got a chance to practice another D4 and get away with it with not knowing what to do, so just using my brain. Okay, my guy just did what Andreas did, right? He self-destructed. But okay, thanks, Latin and Blondie, for 43 months. It's so much I cannot calculate. Okay, Ben, rate is going through. Thank you so much, guy. Bye, YouTube. See you tomorrow for the last one.
Okay, bye, everybody.